little bit of a new setup, so now you can see yourself a little bit.
Right, a
I
little bit. I'm
see.
seeing it on the side. Okay.
I was like, okay, hey.
And then we are
Yeah.
recording here. Okay. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm. Ready to go.
All right. 2, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, boos. It's us. Finally back in the studio.
Oh my God. It's been a month. We miss you guys.
Yes, we did. And we have so much to talk about. So many more new topics.
Yes.
A lot has been going on. And our first episode, well, no, we're on episode 10, right?
Can you believe it?
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10, which is about our trip to Sedona, Arizona. That was one of the reasons why we weren't in the studio. Right?
Yes.
Sedona, Arizona.
It was beautiful.
Grand Canyon, yeah.
It was beautiful. It was
Yeah.
an experience. And we encourage you to go there.
Yeah, that's why we're doing a whole episode about it. It was such a beautiful state to go to, different than going to the islands and things like that. You know, like just a typical thing that
Yeah.
the list of what travelers are going to,
Yeah.
places that travelers are going to. So it was just a really different experience in a really magical, beautiful, and blessed way.
Mm-hmm. And of course, there was so much things that we did.
Yes.
And then, you know, Sedona is going to be like a special time that we went. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I mean, it had a lot of significance. I had why won't you tell them why?
Okay.
You went to Sedona. Actually.
Okay, so all right, I'll kick it off. So really it started off with me wanting to do a maternity shoot out there. So just to give you a little background story, when I found out I was pregnant, I loved what's the song called, Bigger,
Yeah.
off the Black is King album by
Yeah.
Beyonce. I love that fucking song. So that's been like my pregnancy song. And I love the visuals on Disney. If you ever seen Black is King, I suggest everybody see it. So it was just so beautiful. And she was out in the desert looking glamorous. And I was like, pish. Like, so that was my inspiration for my maternity photo shoot. So I don't think it was worth, and remember, it's still a pandemic, you guys. It is still a pandemic. I don't care what they're telling you out there. But anyways, it wasn't worth going across the world to take some beautiful pictures. So I'm like, where can we go within the country
Yeah.
that I can get the visuals that I want and like this beautiful scenery and background? I was like, okay, Grand Canyon. So I'm like, all right, looking at the Grand Canyon looks beautiful. And I'm like, all right, we never experienced nothing like that. So
Yeah.
why not? And then I started looking at hotels around the Grand Canyon from Arizona side, and I didn't like the way they looked. So then I thought about Sedona, and I knew it was like a spa haven in the country or whatever. So
And it was that it was. Oh my gosh.
Sedona was a beautiful accident. Okay. So I didn't like the way the hotels were looking near the Grand Canyon. So I was like, all right, let me try to find something in Sedona. And it just worked out perfectly. And Sedona was just as beautiful as the Grand Canyon, like the red rocks and everything. Wasn't that like, it was the best accident I ever made in my life.
Can I say something? I would say it was picturesque.
Yeah.
It was literally picturesque. Everything from Sedona to the Grand Canyon to even like Flagstaff was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was just picturesque.
Yeah. And a New Yorker like me who's never seen a cactus plant, I was just gagging over that. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a cactus plant.
So of course
just little
I was
things like
signed up
that.
to drive. So while we were driving
yeah.
from Arizona to Sedona, I think Kay said a million times like, oh my God, is that a cactus? Lucy, is that a cactus? I've never seen a cactus before. Like, and it was so funny because
right? In cartoons.
yeah, and I feel it was just like a special place because it's just like it does have a lot of significance there, like the way it looks and everything. So it was like a whole thing. But I wanted to say like one thing that I really enjoyed about this experience with you was she really planned it out. So like, you know how you take something like, it's like she came up with an idea and I literally felt like she drew it out. Like you drew it out. And I was like, whoa. And, you know, my brother was like, so y'all going to so let me get this straight. You're going to Grand Canyon for a maternity shoot? I said, absolutely. He was like, wow. And I was like, what? In my mind, I'm like, and I'm sure in your mind, you're like, that's that's what we do. You know what I mean?
I think people do that. I've seen other
No,
girls do
yeah.
photo shoots in other places.
Yeah,
so.
you're right. But I think it's kind of like being associated with, like, you're my best friend. So I'm like, oh, we're going to Sedona for my best friend's baby, her shoot. Like,
Yes.
that's what we do. And I just love, like, the action behind it. Your follow through, the everything. You know, I feel like, especially when it's like baby time and you're getting in that mode, I'm like, this was the best because you know
it was a lot of behind to set it up.
course,
I had to find a photographer out there. I can't think of her name, but she was amazing. I'm so sorry.
baby brain.
Right, it really is. And then I know Auntie Vida, and she's a Ghanaian tailor in the Bronx. She made both my dresses. So that, and remember we had to go out to the city and find the Intuma cloth and
Yeah.
everything. You came with me both times. We found the lace together and the Intuma.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know, it was a lot of planning behind it.
Yeah. And I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, you know, when you're trying to like execute something from, like, I feel like you had your goal, you work backwards. Like, you know how you want it to look. You had your
Yes.
theme.
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, this is what I want to look. She knew what she wanted her hair to be.
Yes.
And I was just like, that planning was so on time. And I was just like, listen, if you want something, work backwards.
Right?
Work backwards, because the goal was in the head. She already knew what she wanted. So she
Yes.
was like, boom, boom, boom. And when I say like the timing,
Yeah.
I mean, even from booking all the festivities that we
Yes,
did.
yes. Because, okay, it was what, 6 of us? Yeah, I think it was six
It was
of
six
us that
of us,
went,
yeah.
right? So, yeah, and again, I'm not staying anywhere. So, again, I didn't like the way those hotels at the Grand Canyon
yeah.
looked. So, I'm like, all right, let's try Sedona. And I found like this really pretty inn.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't like the way it looked on the outside, but luckily, I picked a specific place with beautiful views. And those views were amazing at that
Yeah.
hotel
Oh
we
my
stayed
God.
at. I can't think of the name of the place we stayed at either, but, you know, it was
We'll leave it
beautiful
in the
views.
notes. We'll leave it in the
Yeah.
details if you guys are interested and
Yeah.
want to visit Sedona.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I was scared that Sedona would be like a little. I was scared that there would be nothing to do in Sedona. I thought it would be like a store, like a city or a town with like 5 stores and that's it. It was a whole vibe.
It was.
It was a whole vibe, Sedona. I was like, what? Is this what we're doing here?
Yeah, and it was such a spiritual place. Like, you
Yeah.
felt the energy there.
Yeah.
Just to give you guys a little bit more context, like, Sedona is 4,900 elevation. So
Let's talk about
climbing from Arizona,
that. Yeah.
you're going elevate. So you're gonna experience the popping in the air.
Yes.
In the airs. It's I'm not sure the exact number, but it's definitely over 4,000
Yeah.
elevation. So you hear it.
Yeah.
So that it, like, you know what I mean? So it's just, I felt like we're going like,
We
I
was
know this
damn
might
near
be-
touching the sky.
right. That's how I literally felt like that.
Yeah.
I literally felt like that. So it was just a spiritual place. It was very calming. It was, and I think it was a perfect, like, you know, you're pregnant. You want to be in
Yeah.
calming. You want to be in like a peace
Yeah.
area. And I feel like if that was your thought or if that's what you had in mind, you execute that like.
It was. I just want to go somewhere where we can chill and not do a whole bunch of like ripping and running around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But back to what you said about it being highly elevated. Now, that is something to take into consideration because I wasn't the driver. Nobody would let me drive, thank God. She was the designated driver, right? And everybody who drove, like, remember, it's elevated. So it's like winding roads, which is scary. Like, if you're scared of heights, don't look down. And if you're a scary driver, I don't know what to tell you because that's the only way you get in and out of Sedona. A perfect example, if you live in New York City, compare it to the Jackie Robinson. Is that a good comparison?
No.
Worse? Oh, yeah,
Worse.
it's 10 times worse. Don't get me wrong.
Worse than the Jackie.
The Jackie Robinson is lightweight because if you ever been on Jackie Robinson in New York City, you know it's like turns all over the place. But
The Jackie
times worse.
Robinson comparing to what we drove on is a cakewalk.
or if you ever, I was thinking like, I don't know, did you see the movie Doctor Strange, Marvel movie?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember how he was on that winding road and he reared off and got in a car accident?
Yes.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And especially if you're on the West Coast, you're probably used to driving in mountains, like highly elevated on the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
But if you're not, that's something to consider because that shit was,
It was intense.
yeah, everybody was quiet.
Everybody was quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was so beautiful though.
It was.
It was so beautiful.
And on our way to the Grand Canyon, like, we experienced so much different climate changes.
Yeah.
So for those who like looking to visit, Arizona is way more warm, which makes sense. And then as you climb, it gets a little cooler. So Sedona was like a little warm, and then it got cool, very cool at night. And then as we drove through the Grand Canyon, we went through 3 climate changes. It was insane. It was one part that it was snowing.
Yeah, that was wild.
And it was like kind of wild. And then I was like, I hope it ain't snowing in the Grand Canyon. That's crazy. I don't want to be a part of that. And like when we got to the Grand Canyon, that's when it was actually like really hot. It got really hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was.
No, remember it was kind of cool, like at one point in the Grand Canyon, but then when we actually got in the canyon,
yes, it was hot. So, I mean, so many, like I would say almost anywhere between a 30 to 50 degree
difference. Yeah.
So,
and someone told us at the Grand Canyon, like we were up in the mountains, but we were also like, if you look down, remember you could see the Colorado River?
yeah,
They said it was 30 degrees hotter down there. So take that into consideration. It was so beautiful and big and vast, the Grand Canyon.
So let me ask you this. What would you suggest, like, what would you suggest when visiting like Sedona or Arizona? If someone chooses to do it, like what is one thing that you would say you need to do?
The Grand Canyon.
Okay.
And if you don't mind driving, because I felt like we drove a lot.
You did.
But it was worth it.
It was.
Because I didn't want to stay like near the Grand Canyon. I did not like the way them hotels look. I'm so sorry. Not sorry. So it was worth the 2-hour drive back to Sedona personally.
Yeah.
So you'll be doing a lot of driving in Arizona if you care about where you stay.
Yeah.
But
I would say for if you're an outdoorsy person, that's a place to go. Like the hiking, the like you could do water rafting, you can do like climbing, whatever you want. Especially I feel like if you're in a place to want to connect with like nature, it is what it is that. And I feel like that's probably one of the reasons too, is like trying to like connect with nature. Because when I think of like Black is King, I think of like being a part of the, Mother Earth. Obviously it has such a like just being a part of it. So I would like, if you are planning or looking to do a trip to Sedona or whatever have you, I would suggest you like research, do some stuff, because we definitely had a lot of I would say experiences where we were able to like connect a little bit more too. It was definitely a girls' trip.
Yeah.
It was definitely a girls' trip. So we got to able to like connect and things like that outside, because we didn't do too much outdoor stuff.
No, also because I will say this: if you're pregnant, it wasn't as enjoyable.
Yeah.
I just need to take some beautiful pictures, right?
Yeah. But we got stuff done.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know me, I wanted to go down and hike and things like that at the Grand Canyon.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, at 6 months being pregnant, and people were like, no, ma'am, no. I'm not afraid of heights, so people were mad at me because I was taking pictures near the edge of cliffs and things like that. But I like stuff like that, so I do want to go back when I'm not pregnant, so I can do all the climbing that I want to do.
Girl, it was crazy. She was like, I'm just gonna walk down. We were like, nah, sis.
Right.
You look like you're about to tip over.
Right.
What are you talking about? You're getting bigger. I think we went the first day. The next morning, I was like, what happened? You're like, your stomach is like out to here now. So we were like, what are you doing? But it was just so much fun. It was like so good.
And on, like you said, on a spiritual level, I prayed 1,000,000 times while we was at the Grand Canyon. It was just so beautiful. Yeah, it's not, words cannot describe how beautiful it was.
Yeah, definitely.
And how vast it was.
So how did you enjoy your like overall? I don't think I asked her this because I was more so a part of the whole thing. How did you enjoy your photo shoot?
Oh, I loved every moment of it. Honestly, so y'all mad that I took photos. I wish I had a freaking videographer, to be honest.
Yeah, that would have been
to
dope.
capture everything.
Yeah.
Because I loved every moment of it. And, having my girls and my family with me, it was just really, really nice to have the supportive, the support group with me, helping me change and everything in the bushes.
Yes.
Right? Just changing in the bushes at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
All naked and everything.
That you were.
Right?
Very much so.
Taking pictures, on cliffs and in front of cactus plants and things like that.
I think what I really enjoyed too is just like the sense of the support system too
Yeah.
for you. I felt like having that good support system while you're like pregnant or doing something so amazing like that, it definitely makes the experience better. And it
Yeah.
just made, I feel like there was a lot of closeness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of closeness, like togetherness, like especially for the girls' trips, it's so important to have that connection
Yeah.
and that bond.
Yeah.
There was no cattiness. This was
No.
so, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was because we've had those catty girl trips, and I guess that should be a topic. Like, who are you traveling with, right?
Yeah.
But no, it was a cool group of girls. Everybody was on board with just
Yeah.
helping out, and not even with just me, each other. Yeah.
It was like that. And I'm like encouraging if you are, because I feel like in a way, Sedona, I'm sure they have a million of those. They should do like retreats.
Yeah, they do.
They do have, you know, like I'm sure they're like a huge retreat destination place. And what I say that I just felt like if anything, it brought more value to the people. Like we were like, to me, even like with your, like I felt like a really closeness with your cousins and stuff like that. They brought, their value went up. You know what I mean? So if you're planning a girls trip and you're staying in the US of A, I think you should try it.
Even if you're not, like if you're wherever you are, if you're in Europe, whatever, I would definitely suggest going to Sedona, Arizona. It's just a beautiful scenic place in general. And if you need to check out, it's just the perfect place to be.
Yeah.
The mountains, you know. What else did they have? Like, that they said that they had like the vortex, like a spiritual
a lot
vortex.
of they have a few vortexes as well.
And you know, we're into it. We bought crystals and everything to pray upon. Like,
Yes,
we're
they
into
had a lot of that, like stone, palm readings, tarot, anything that had any to do with like spiritual. They had it. They also had a lot of holistic healing.
Yes.
As well. What were you
It's
gonna say?
no, I was gonna say anything that brings significance to your life if you believe in these sort of things.
Yeah.
But it was the perfect girls trip.
Yeah. I want to talk about some stuff that we did.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about some stuff that you did, and I wanted to share some experiences that I had, and I'm sure that you had, because I'll be honest with you, we did go to the spa. I don't know, we were all crying.
Oh, right. The spa day.
We had a really great spa day.
So, okay, if I'm hosting, yes, right? I specifically have like things that you can do but don't have to do. I think that's a hostess tip 101, right? Like give girls on your trip options on what they can do, but you don't have to do anything. You could stay in a hotel all day if you want, but just give people options because these girls are coming to help you and support you. So do a little bit of like what restaurants they can go to, you know, just different options on what they can. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my phone. Sorry, just different options on what y'all can do, you know, places to eat, things so that, you know, just to keep the vibe up.
Like building the itinerary. So one of the things that Kay did plan out was like at a spa. It was called Sedona Spa. The owners were this cute couple that were from New York City. And they were like, I don't use this term, darling. I cannot find any other word, any other adjective for them, but besides they were darling. They were just the cutest couple. And I chose to do a Reiki massage. And if you guys know anything about Reiki, but it has a lot to do with your chakras, your spiritual ward. And man, I never had Reiki before, but when I say I was in tears, I had a Reiki massage. I was in tears, and it was just kind of like it kind of was just almost like for someone to pick up that energy from me, because I've been going through a lot. I had a recent not even a recent breakup. It was just like I had to come in terms with someone, and that it wore me out. It tore me down. And like, you know, I'm feeling like I had a little bit of blockage already because I'm very in tune and with my own self. So like I felt like I was having a little blockage, and I just couldn't really put my hands around it because I would have like a lot. And I was telling Kay, like I had tightness in my chest, like around my heart area. And I was like, maybe it's a cramp or maybe it's a something. And it was so interesting that when the young lady was doing the Reiki over me, she mentioned like, you have a lot of pressure on your back. That means that you're, it seems as though you are giving more of your love than you are, but you don't receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say waterfalls, I couldn't even barely control myself because it was just so much truth in that statement.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I've been feeling that tightness. I was like, maybe it's stress. Maybe I need to take it easy. But it was just such, all I can say is this. If you're ever feeling something about your body, and if you're a kind of person that's in tune with yourself, it's not sickness, but that something's up, just listen to your body and like find ways to connect or try to figure it out. And if I had to suggest something, I would say do the Reiki.
Reiki massage. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say this, if you're pregnant, I found out there's not a lot of massage options that you can get when you're pregnant. So I didn't get the prenatal one. I got something else, like a prickly pear massage.
Yeah.
And as they were giving it, as the young lady was giving me the massage, she was telling me that what I didn't know, because I did want to do reflexology, but she was like, no, you can't, because it can induce labor.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. And it's a lot of different, like, when you're pregnant, there's you can't get like a regular massage because there's a lot of ways that can induce labor. So just make sure they don't go too deep on your back and things like that. Just saying, if you're pregnant,
Yeah.
Especially now because my feet are swollen. I would love a reflex. I love a foot massage.
But you can't do anything on the foot right now.
No.
Okay. That was interesting. That was a good, when you told us that, I was like, what? I didn't know
I would
that.
have never imagined. I thought, massage is massage. It's no difference. But that was really fun. And it was really much needed for us, right? And then we were just chilling in the backyard.
We just chilled, drank. I partaked in some like mimosas.
I had water.
She had water.
Yeah.
But then we also went to a winery.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Kay are a little bit of winery snobs. I'm just gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say probably a little bit more of a winery snob than you are.
Yeah, I would say so.
We did go to a winery, which is really beautiful. We will leave the name of the winery in the notes if you are planning to travel to Arizona, Sedona specifically. But this one was okay. They did a lot of flights. I felt like their what did they have?
I can only talk about the food.
Yeah, how was the food? Yeah, talk about the food because I couldn't really eat a lot.
Okay.
I don't eat meat.
Yeah. So I thought the food was good.
Yeah.
But remember, I'm pregnant. Everything tastes good, especially the olives. I guess
the olives were good. I did have some olives, but we were just finding just little things to do. It was so funny because it seems as though anywhere you want to go, you're going to have to go through a few roundabouts and a few winding roads. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of hilarious. But I also thought that the experience was really great because it was like more of an intimate setting. We had a little bit more fun. They had more like cool drinks there. Would I say I would highly recommend that winery if you're a little bit on the upper end. I wouldn't say so much. However, there are several other wineries in Sedona that is fantastic, and I think you should try it.
Yeah, and I was disappointed because I tried to set up for us to go like on a Jeep tour at the Grand Canyon.
Oh yeah,
and I hate that it fell through. They canceled on us. Something about it was Easter weekend, and I think the traffic was too bad. So that's something I really would like to do, either at the Grand Canyon or in Sedona in the Red Rocks.
Yeah,
like a Jeep tour.
Yeah.
Again, if you're pregnant, you can't do the Jeep tour in Sedona because it's too bumpy, the roads or whatever. That's what they were telling me. But if you're not, then, partake and make sure you plan ahead. But that's something I would definitely want to do next time.
Sure.
We went to that park, right?
Oh, yes. Creekside.
Yeah, you remember everything.
I do.
That's so funny. And it had like that little river thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That was very peaceful.
Oh,
as
my
well.
gosh.
People were like, actually swimming in the river. They were literally swimming in the water. That is one of those springs, so crystal clear springs, just like serene, clean. You could still. It had like so many things to do.
Yeah.
Within that park, like we saw families like barbecuing. They had people in the river. People were just climbing, exploring. So it was it was really fun. I saw that. I realized that a lot of people were there like families were there. A lot of families were there. A lot of like I would say like groups of people were there. So I felt like Sedona represented a lot of like togetherness, like high experience and things like that. So it was, and that is exactly what it was.
Yeah, and I know for me next time, I would like, we noticed even when you're on the winding roads, they have, it seems like they have like stop off points or whatever, and people would get off and take pictures and even sometimes walk down into the cliffs. I would like to do that next time.
I feel
Again,
like,
I'm not afraid of heights though.
yeah, I feel like it's definitely a place that it's like very scenic. Everything is scenic.
It's so beautiful.
And then also, in addition to the this scenery, it was you were able to like get off and also hike a little bit. So they encourage you to be a part or like in the nature, like they're putting hold up stops and things like that. So they're encouraging the community to be outside and be like with the elements there. Like you definitely felt that.
Yeah. Again, I'm pregnant, so I can't do but so much, but I hope I am going back next year.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if y'all don't come, I know I'm checking out next year back in Sedona.
Yeah.
Like, just to check out is the perfect place. And who would have thought?
So just to bring this back around for you, like, what was your best experience there?
Oh, that's a great question. I want to say I really, when we enter Sedona, those mountains, like, because I've never seen red mountains before. It was just so beautiful, like, just seeing that for the first time. But also when we got to the Grand Canyon, seeing the canyon itself for the first time. Like, those two, like, instant pictures when you think about it, when I think about it in my mind. Because it's something I've never seen before, and it was just so magical. Again, and I've traveled around the world. I've seen a lot of things, but that I ain't never seen before. So it was just so different from what I usually do. And, you know, I just felt like, especially Black people, it's just so easy to go to an island. How many islands we gonna go to, right? No, seriously.
You were saying that. You were
right,
saying that.
yeah, right. But go look at some red mountains. That should have tripped you out. Like,
So what part of your shoot, like what was your best experience about your photo shoot?
My best experience about my photo shoot, mainly because I love that teal dress. I was on the edge. Nobody liked that, especially because my cousin Vanessa was there and she kept kind of cursing me out about that. But I was on the edge, but I really loved looking down and looking back at the canyon. Again, I'm not afraid of heights, and I had on sneakers under my dress, so I wasn't worried about tripping or anything like that. But just taking it all in. And like I said, like, that's why I asked y'all were y'all praying, because I said a million prayers for my baby, for all of y'all, like for everybody I could think of under the sun, because it's so big. It's indescribable. Like, honestly, I put up like a snippet of the photo shoot on my Instagram. And I think I told you, a random person DM'd me and they was like, oh, what editing tool did you use? I'm like, no, that's the Grand Canyon. That is not an edited, chopped photo. Like, no, that was the Grand Canyon and stuff. They was like, oh, wow. I'm like, yes, it's that beautiful. It didn't even look real.
Yeah.
It really didn't. But for me, maybe also because I believe in prayers, like just praying there and just feeling so close to God. Because, I mean, honestly, it looked like the sky was right there. Oh my God. So just praying and like taking it all in and hoping that the universe hears my prayers and the Lord hears my prayers. That was important to me too, because I was just trying to take in those moments. Yeah. And next time I am gonna get a videographer. I know y'all think I'm a lot, but whatever. I'm getting a videographer.
I couldn't do everything. I was like, I did her makeup. I was fixing her dress. Yes. I was like, making sure she was together. And then I was trying to video. I was like, I can't do everything. Yes. So it was really hard. So next time, please get a videographer. That'll be the least of my worries. That'll be the last thing I need to do or think about.
But speaking of makeup, right? So Lucy ended up doing my makeup for the photo shoot. But let's talk about that real quick, right? So I don't know. Girls in Arizona, Black girls, where y'all getting y'all makeup done? Because the damn sure wasn't Sedona, okay?
It's probably Phoenix.
No, but even then, like, I was having issues trying to find a makeup artist from Phoenix.
Because she chose to do her maternity shoot during Easter.
I didn't know that at first, though. give me a little credit. I didn't realize it was Easter weekend when I planned that, right? Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's what it was.
And it was also spring finals.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I was just booking a trip.
Drama.
Y'all. Yeah, I was just booking a trip.
Drama.
So for the life of me, I couldn't find a makeup artist, and she tried to link me with her friend, but her friend was busy, and I get it. It's Easter weekend. She had things to do. I tried some other places, and they were either booked or they couldn't do my makeup early in the morning and come out to Sedona. So from what I gather, Black girls especially, Sedona only has like bridal makeup artists. And even then, I would personally feel more comfortable with somebody that's has a little bit more melanin. You know, like no shade, but I don't know if you had that 420 Fenty in your makeup kit. I'm just saying, right? And even then, I still couldn't find anybody. So
she's actually 4'10" right now.
Oh, am I? No, and we'll talk about but remember, I'm darker.
Oh yes, yeah, that's
pregnant.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. You got it.
Ladies, if you are pregnant, especially Black women, did y'all get darker in your pregnancy? Because
that's a normal side
effect. It is it?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I've gotten darker in my pregnancy. Mm-hmm. But that's neither here nor there. But I couldn't find a makeup artist, so I had to turn to my best friend. Lucienne. And I'm like, Lucy, can you do my makeup? And she was like, I guess.
I know.
It looked gorgeous though. She act like she don't do makeup, but it looked so gorgeous when she did it.
Okay, so what about that? So okay. I was like, okay, so now once she decided, or once we knew that I was gonna be doing her makeup, if I can give any words of advice and you're looking for someone to do your makeup, just send them the images. Don't say, oh, I just want a simple look. Nothing. I want to keep it pretty natural, because let's just be honest here. Mm-hmm. A natural look does not consist of a graphic eye.
Oh, yeah, she was pissed about that with me.
It was a graphic eye that she wanted to do. And she was like, oh, yeah, we could just do it an hour before. And I'm just like, girl, you want a graphic eye. A graphic eye. Like, for me, I'm going to be honest. I'm not out here doing winged out graphic eye every day. Like, let's just be honest. I put a bronzer in my crease and call it a day. So I was doing this graphic eye, took time, of course, but her makeup ended up being so gorgeous and so beautiful. I feel like the dryness of Arizona, period, I felt like it just looked better. Yeah, it held up better. It was not a lot of humidity. So, like, of course, we had to do touch-ups and things like that. But, like, to the extent where I felt like I had to literally take things off and put it back on. If I had to fix something, I just used the setting spray and it like to refix it and get it together. So, the dry heat really actually played a huge, the dryness played a huge factor of her makeup staying up really, really well. So for you guys, like for advice, like when you're doing your maternity shoot and you're like maybe doing something as like amazing that Kay did, like try to get like an idea of what kind of climate and the look you're trying to establish too, because I think that plays a major play on how your picture is going to come out. What were you going to say? You said something?
Well, first of all, for a makeup novice, I thought it was simple. Like, it looked simple to me. I don't know. It's a little wingtip. I don't know.
That was not a wingtip. It was like wing, cut, crease, halfway cut. You know what I mean? Cut it in real quick. And I was using a Jackie Aina palette. I never used it before. I had it, and it came in clutch. Colors were exactly. Yes,
Jackie.
She loved Jackie, so I was like, all right. So, and it was like so clutch. It was like perfect. But yeah, and also like,
and I did legit send her. I was like, oh yeah, I just want this simple look right here, and she was like, girl.
One thing I will celebrate is that she showed me the photos in advance. So of course, when you're scouting out or looking for an artist, and send them the photos and really ask if they can do it too. Like that's important. Because I'm sure if she would have pulled that out at the day, I would have been like, all right, sis. So this is what's gonna really happen. So I overpacked, but I was very much prepared.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And that was like my favorite part. I felt so like important when I was doing her makeup. I was like, oh my God, I'm doing her makeup for her. I'd be like, Ethan, I did your makeup.
Right? Auntie Lou came through.
Auntie Lou came
Yes.
through. Yes. Peace.
Yeah.
Like, I was so happy about that. It was just such a really good, and I was like, I want my best friend to look so perfect, like insane. And I felt like the photos came out so phenomenal. So
Yeah. I haven't posted them yet because, you know, I'm trash, but I am going to post them this
I
week.
rebuke
I
that in the name of
swear.
Jesus.
Right? I'm sorry. I've been holding on to these photos. I am going to post them on my Instagram, Mommy Bunsu. I swear. I promise next week after Mother's Day, going to post my photos. Promise.
yes, you have to post those photos. They're monumental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to.
Yes. But about the makeup, right? Let's be mindful. She did my makeup like 10, 11 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And it really did hold up because I had a sunset photo shoot. So it began like around 5:30.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it held up the whole day. Because remember, she did my makeup in Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to drive to the Grand Canyon. Remember, that's 2 hours. And we took photos and had fun and everything, ate lunch and whatnot. And the makeup really did hold up.
Yeah, and it really had everything to do with the prep too. So like, ladies, when you know you're having like those long days, make sure, or you know that you're having an event, just make sure it's all in your prep. You know what I mean? And you know we're wearing masks, so it's all in your prep. You know what I mean? You want something to have longevity. You want something to wear for a long time. Make sure your prep is down. Even though like Kay, we were in a drier climate, and Kay's a little bit more like normal to dry right now. I still put setting powder prior to her application just to hold it on because you want something long wear. Of course, keep in mind that you're gonna get a long wear foundation. Like, don't expect to have amazing photos and you want to look natural as possible, and you can do that, but you're trying to throw on like a BB cream. It's not happening, sis. So you have to put like, make sure, keep in mind that you're doing like a long wear foundation. Everything that you choose to do that day or for a long day, make sure it has long wear attached to it. Period.
Period.
It has to have a long wear, expectation, especially if you're going to be doing photos. You're going to be wearing, even if you're like, even wedding makeup, like, you artists, or if the ladies that choose to do it on their own, everything, make sure long wear is attached to everything. All the products that you're putting on your face.
Okay.
All the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. If you can sum it up,
Yeah.
what are some adjectives you would use for this trip overall?
Oh, that's a good question. All right. If I had to,
Just
peace,
a couple words.
like peaceful.
I'm gonna say amazing.
I would say, awakened.
Okay.
It was awakening at least for me.
Would you go back sooner than later?
I would have liked to go at the end of the year.
Oh.
Like even at the end of the summer.
Oh, okay.
That would have been, really nice, like kind of close up my, time there. But I would say like, it released so much. Like since I came back, like my mind is so clear, I feel like I let go a lot of baggage there. So really like even letting go, shedding, I feel like that. I feel like higher energy. When I think of the few words like you mentioned, like I could describe like higher energy, letting go, shedding,
Yeah, I felt lighter coming back. It was the much needed vacation.
Yeah.
I needed prior to me giving birth. It was so perfect.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly what the doctor ordered prior to me giving birth.
And when I say it was all positive vibes only.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you feeling some type of way, leave it at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously.
And we had a cool group of girls. That's what made it even better,
Sure did.
But yeah, strongly suggest people taking a trip out to Arizona. And honestly, it's had more than I thought to do out there.
Yeah.
'Cause it's the Grand Canyon. Even Josh and I was talking about Area 51. I don't know if you can go there specifically, but I know that's supposed to be in Arizona, right? Sedona, Phoenix.
Yeah.
Hiking. Would you ever go camping?
I would. You asked me that when I was there, and I was like, I would, and you were like, you know what? But you know what you brought up? I would go glamping.
Yeah, I would definitely do
I'll
that.
do glamping there.
Yeah.
I could see that being a vibe. Yeah. Doing
Yeah.
a glamping.
Yeah, something really bougie and luxurious. I'm not really a camping girl. I ain't really trying to struggle.
Yeah.
I'm not, but it's glamping, like something fun, and
Yeah.
you're bringing food to me and everything like that, and you're making the fire and everything.
Yeah.
You might get 1 or 2 nights out of me. 2 nights tops, let's be clear. But yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But all right, thank you so much for listening. We are strongly suggesting everybody go to Arizona in general, Sedona, and the Grand Canyon. Book that trip, ladies.
Yeah.
And gentlemen, if you're listening.
Sure.
It's where it's at, honestly.
And guys, if you are not following us, make sure you follow us at
Yes.
Makeups at Breakups at the end of breakups _ and then Lulu Beauty and Mom Bonsu as well.
Yes. All right. Thank you, booze. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay.
That trip was amazing.
Yeah. How'd you feel that?